Imagine a life where everything seems perfect on the outside: wealth, luxury, and love. But behind closed doors, the darkest of secrets are hidden. This is the chilling story of a wealthy gay couple, once seen as pillars of the community, who adopted children with dreams of giving them a better life. Instead, they subjected their sons to years of unimaginable abuse. Now, after years of investigation and court trials, they've been sentenced to an astounding 100 years in prison. But is this punishment truly enough for the horrors they inflicted? In this video, we'll delve into the disturbing details of the case, uncover the shocking truths behind their actions, and ask the burning question: what justice looks like when the victims are children and the perpetrators are seemingly untouchable. Stay tuned as we explore the dark side of this twisted tale. The couple, once celebrated for their philanthropy and success, adopted the two boys when they were just toddlers, eager to provide a life filled with love and opportunity. On the surface, they seemed like the perfect parents, living in a sprawling mansion, surrounded by luxury. But what their sons endured behind closed doors was far from the idyllic life anyone could imagine. For years, the children remained silent, too terrified to speak out, believing no one would ever believe them. When authorities were finally tipped off, the investigation revealed a pattern of abuse so horrific, it left even the most seasoned detectives shaken. But what drove these seemingly perfect parents to commit such atrocities? Was it a desire for control, or something darker lurking beneath the surface? As we piece together the chilling details of this case, one thing becomes clear: the truth is far more complicated than it first appeared. As the investigation unfolded, many began to question how such horrors could go unnoticed for so long. Neighbors had always described the couple as charming and generous, often hosting lavish parties and charity events. No one suspected that the same people who donated millions to causes were also hiding the dark secret at home. But the more authorities dug into the couple's past, the more troubling revelations came to light. The couple's adoption records were sealed, and there were whispers about how they had manipulated the system to appear as the ideal parents. They were intelligent, persuasive, and used their wealth to cover up any signs of trouble. Meanwhile, the children's stories started to surface, and they were more heartbreaking than anyone could have imagined. One of the boys, now a teenager, bravely began to speak out, detailing years of abuse in horrifying detail. He explained how they had lived in constant fear, isolated from the outside world. Yet even as the truth came out, questions remained. Why did they wait so long to speak? Were there others who were aware but chose to ignore the warning signs? As more layers of the couple's seemingly perfect life were peeled back, a growing unease settled over everyone involved. How deep did the deception go, and would true justice ever be served? As the trial date neared, the tension in the courtroom was palpable. The couple, once admired for their outward charm, now sat in silence, their carefully curated facade crumbling under the weight of the evidence. The prosecution was relentless, revealing a web of lies and manipulation that spanned years. But just as the case seemed to be reaching its breaking point, a shocking twist emerged. A key witness, a former employee who had worked closely with the couple, came forward with a startling revelation. The employee claimed to have witnessed unsettling behaviors, but had been silenced with threats and financial incentives to keep quiet. This revelation sent shockwaves through the courtroom, casting doubt on the extent of the couple's reach and power. The children, still processing the trauma of their experiences, were now left in the spotlight, forced to confront their abusers once again. Their voices, though filled with courage, trembled with the weight of the truth. As the defense team scrambled to discredit the accusations, it became clear that the case had reached a boiling point. With every passing moment, the sense of impending justice grew stronger, but the burning question remained: Would the truth be enough to truly hold the couple accountable, or would they somehow escape the consequences of their actions? Just as the trial seemed to be tipping in favor of the prosecution, another unexpected turn shattered everything. A private investigator, hired by the couple's defense team, made a discovery that no one could have anticipated. In a hidden storage locker, they found a series of documents, photographs, and videos that painted an entirely different picture. These materials suggested that the couple had not acted alone. The plot thickened as it appeared they were part of a larger network, connected to influential figures who had been involved in multiple adoptions and foster care placements. The courtroom was thrown into chaos as this new evidence was presented, hinting at a far-reaching conspiracy that extended beyond the couple themselves. Were these adopted children just a small piece in a much darker puzzle? Had the couple been manipulated, or were they truly the masterminds? With new players emerging in the shadows, the once clear-cut case now seemed much more complex. The question that lingered over everything: could anyone be trusted, or had everyone been part of a grander, sinister design? The stakes had escalated to a level no one saw coming, leaving the audience on the edge of their seats, wondering just how deep the corruption went and whether justice would ever be served. As the investigation continued to unravel, the true scope of the conspiracy began to emerge. With the shocking evidence linking the couple to a network of corrupt social workers and wealthy adopters, authorities launched a broader investigation. More victims came forward, revealing stories that mirrored the horrors faced by the adopted sons. It was clear now what had initially seemed like a personal tragedy was part of a larger, more insidious pattern of exploitation. The couple's trial came to a head in an intense final hearing. Despite their best efforts to deflect blame and manipulate the truth, the weight of the evidence was undeniable. Their wealth, influence, and manipulative tactics were no match for the courageous voices of the children and the mounting evidence against them. The courtroom erupted in emotion as the judge handed down the sentence. The couple was convicted, sentenced to life in prison, and stripped of every dollar they had ever accumulated. But just as the audience thought the story had reached its conclusion, an unexpected twist emerged. A letter found in the couple's possession just before their sentencing revealed a shocking final secret. One of the sons, the very boy who had bravely testified against them, was revealed to be the biological child of one of the high-ranking members of the adoption network. This revelation cast everything into doubt, leaving everyone questioning the true motives behind the adoption in the first place. Was this simply a case of greed, or had the entire situation been orchestrated from the beginning? As the story closed, the tension lingered, leaving the audience wondering who was truly guilty, and how far would the ripple effects of this dark tale stretch? The truth, it seemed, was even more complicated than anyone had ever imagined. In the aftermath, the shockwaves from the trial continued to spread. While the biological connection of one of the sons to a powerful figure complicated things, it didn't change the fact that the couple's actions were unforgivable. The broader investigation into the adoption network led to the arrest of several key figures, dismantling a web of exploitation that had affected countless children over the years. The boys, now in a safer and more supportive environment, slowly began to heal. Their bravery in speaking out had not only brought their abusers to justice, but had also exposed a much larger issue within the system. The case sparked widespread reform in child adoption practices, with new laws put in place to prevent such abuse from ever happening again. Ultimately, the couple's story became a powerful reminder. No amount of wealth or influence can shield someone from the consequences of their actions. The truth, no matter how buried, always finds a way to emerge.